They nullified Aqidat al-Uluhiyyah, where they allowed worshipping beside Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the early years before that, the ulama never spoke about Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah, even though there was quotes here and there and here and there. But it wasn't a necessity, because it was something clear like the sun. I don't need to speak about it. Why do I need to talk about it if it was clear and known amongst the Muslims? But when the innovation started, Al-A'imma stopped and they said, hang on a minute, we have to rebuke and stop this. And then they divided Tawheed so we can understand that ibadah is only towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it has to be done to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. A lot of people misunderstand this issue of ibadah. They think if you do not believe that this person is a creator, sustainer, owner, controller of the world, you can sacrifice to him, you can prostrate to him, you can circumambulate around his grave. It's no problem, as long as you don't believe in him, that he's a Lord. But anything that the Sharia considered as ibadah, to turn it to other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is shirk. But this, what I told you now, it was known amongst the ummah. Today, it seems like it is blurry. And the ulama, not like some today, the ulama back then used to deal with the issues of their people, what is happening today. Yani Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahimahullah, inside Baghdad, what do you think he used to teach? The chapter of Iman. Chapter of Iman, the Iman increases and decreases, and Iman is saying and actions. Why? Because the Murji'ah took hold over there, and there was Khawarij. And the Murji'ah, and he wants to teach the people the Aqidah, because that was the issue at his time. Why would he speak about the Quran, that it is not created, it is the word of Allah? Because that is the issue that he is dealing with today. That is the priority of the Muslim. To learn his Tawheed, to know how to deal with the issues that he is dealing with today. And then the issue grew also bigger and bigger, where people started to debate the issues of uluhiyyah and to speak about the issues of uluhiyyah, and as if it wasn't clear. But my brothers, it was clear to the companions and to later generations and later generations. That's why you do not see direct quotes. The ulama came to clarify these things to us. As the ulama clarified the names and attributes, as they clarified issues of Iman. If you to take Kitab al-Tawheed, written by Al-Imam Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab, and to take Kitab al-Tahawiyah, you read Kitab al-Tahawiyah, you find that Al-Imam al-Tahawi rahimahullah, who was in the early years of Islam, in the first 3 centuries of Islam, and Imam Muhammad Abdul Wahhab, who died 200 years ago, if you were to compare, you see he's talking about total different things that Imam al-Tahawi. The Imam al-Tahawi at his time, he had a problem with the Mu'tazila. He wanted to rebuke them. But Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab, when he came, he found people in Saudi, what you call today Saudi Arabia, were worshipping the trees. And the woman would come next to a palm tree, and she would rub herself against it, because she wanted a boy. And she would say, Ya fahl al-fuhul, irziqni waladan qabla al-hawl. She would call the tree, a male of the males, give me a child before the end of the year. This man, he would say, okay, now I'm going to talk to you about names and attributes and the Mu'tazila. Would that be right? Would that be a alim who's living today with the people and seeing the problem with the people? Or he wants to tell her that this is an issue of lordship. The sustainer is your Lord Allah. It is shirk worse than shirk or uluhiyyah. It's shirk in the Rabb, to say there is someone who sustains beside Allah. One of the great kinds of shirk. And then he said, he wrote his book to deal with his issues. Now some smart person will come today, yeah, but the companions never spoke about this. Yeah, because the companions never had a problem about issues of uluhiyyah. That is the problem. I cannot drug my people and tell them, shut your mind and follow me and live isolated from the rest of the society. And you get smart one who says, we want to unite the ummah. Based on what we unite the ummah? Based on what? If Khalid bin Walid radiyallahu anhu, in the battle of Yarmouk, he divided the Muslims to 9 different groups. Why? So he know where is the weak point. And he said, your tribe fight under you, and your tribe fight under you, and you, and you, and you. After days and days of defeat, he wants to know what is the problem. He divided his own army so he can find the weak points. We will unite on what and with whom? If our Tawheed we still dispute, will unite with someone who says there is no God above the heavens? And if you ask him where is Allah, he will say you can't ask. طب ليش I cannot ask? Man, Sahih Muslim, she asked. And no, it's not a da'if hadith. No. The hadith is authentic and it's in Sahih Muslim. And the word she said, Ayn Allah. And she said, where is Allah? Now you get someone who is very smart. He said, Allah is not inside, not outside, not left, not right, not inside this world, not outside this world. Say, hang on a minute, Habibi, I think you lost your Lord. The ulama, they said, the one who give figure to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they're worshipping idols. And the ones who denies the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's worshipping non-existence. But what are you saying Allah? What are you describing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty Lord, in such a way? He says, because if I was to give him his attributes, then I'm liking him to the creation. But you are now liking him to something that doesn't exist. Why? Because he used the bricks that were used to smash down the castle of Iman and used it as a brick to build Islam. That's why he contradicted himself. You're running away from making similarities to Allah, then you fell into the same mistake that you are running away from. Because anything that is not inside, not is outside, not is behind, not is left, not is right, in no direction at all, it is something that doesn't exist. And that is a reality. Why? Because he used the same brick that is used to smash down the castle of Iman to build Islam with it. While the ulama said, put this brick away, go back to the Quran and the Sunnah. It tells you which is the correct brick. My brothers and sisters in Islam, the problem even grew bigger today. Issues of wala and bara. Issue of Hakimiyah. Yani you tell me, companions spoke about Hakimiyah? Did they really speak about the issue of Hakimiyah in details? They didn't. Why? Because it wasn't a necessity at that time. Today it's a necessity. Today it's a necessity. Where someone says to you, communism and socialism, yani the ones who disbelieve in the existence of Allah, are equal to the Sharia of Islam. Democracy and capitalism equal to Islam. And one complement the other. How? We are now disputing even Tawheed al-Rububiyyah of Allah. Issues of wala and bara. The companions never really spoke about it. A man came to Umar radiallahu anhu, one of his subjects. He came to Umar and he said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, I want to use an accountant, a Christian. He said, why? Isn't he Muslims anymore? That is to do with wala al-bara. But in reality, it's a ruling that he gave based on the principles that he knew. But today the Muslims do not have these principles anymore. Today the Muslims are compromising the simplest things in Islam. And then I get someone who said, don't teach the brothers Tawheed. You can't teach them Tawheed. It confuses you. You don't know where to go and how to do, and you separate and cause fitna. I'm not separating and causing fitna. I'm teaching the brothers what Islam means. The most important knowledge is to know the fundamentals of Tawheed. Allah is one. There is nothing like him. He is the Lord. At the same time, he is the only deity worthy of worship. La ilaha illallah has a meaning. There is no deity worthy of worship, truly worthy of worship, except Allah. Any acts of worship that is directed to other than Allah, it is kufr. And Allah has the most beautiful names and sublime attributes. We leave them as they are in the Quran and Sunnah. We do not enter with our rational mind, our philosophies, our understanding into interpreting the names and attributes. That's what you teach. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said the only one would enter paradise is the muwahhid, the monotheist. That is Tawheed. That is Tawheed. Islam is not just storytelling. It's not just talking about stories after stories. It's not just about stories. But at the same time, the Quran used the stories to confirm Tawheed in your heart. Tawheed in your heart, and this is the method of the Quran. And this is where I need to tell the brothers that I am upset with them. Why? Because when they learn Tawheed, they think it's a matter of debate. That I take the knowledge so I can debate different students of knowledge. No. And I can speak with no manners to others and think I am above the rest. No. You're not learning. If you're learning Tawheed for this purpose, wallahi, Allah would never ever put a barakah in that knowledge. And actually will be turning against you. You learn it to save yourself. The Shaykh read today, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, O you who have believed, قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ, yourselves, وَأَهْلِيكُمْ, and your family, نَارًا وَقُودُهَا النَّاسُ وَالْحِجَارَةُ, a fire fueled by people and stones. عَلَيْكُمْ أَنفُسَكُمْ. Just worry about yourself. When you become a qualified sheikh, a alim, but in reality, you're now a student. Unless you are qualified, then you say, I want to debate. It is not from the manhaj of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah to sprout and open debates. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَأَعْرِضْ عَنِ الْجَاهِلِينَ, and turn away from the ignorant ones. It is not for you to debate anyone. It is not for you to speak to different da'is with ill manners. You have to have the manners. And then if you have something that is concern you, come speak